Dear viewers, we are very happy to welcome you to the recorded version of NANMMA Inspire Inauguration Ceremony. We are blessed to have Padma Shri Dr. Azad Moopen to inaugurate our function. NANMMA Inspire is a new venture from North American Malayali Muslim Association Network to facilitate and to promote new business ideas within our community. I welcome you all to the function. Thank you very much.
So, I want to start with Alhamdulillah, right? So we are able to join the meeting at a comfortable location, and I hope and pray that we are all safe, and may Allah protect everyone in our family from whatever is going on. At this point in time, we are at a very pivotal point in history. I would take a moment to acknowledge all that is happening around us. I also want to thank all the healthcare workers, essential care workers, the charity organization, and anyone who is involved in helping people and doing a frontline fight against this pandemic that we have, the COVID-19, and making a dua for Allah to protect us all and bring us back to the normal. Amen. As Muslims, we also condemn any type of racism and aggression that is going on in the society. It's also a key thing that we should acknowledge and educate ourselves and our kids as well. So in general, I wish and pray for a healthy and a safe environment for us all. So we'll start the program. So we'll start with a Quran recitation. MashaAllah, I see Haifa sitting in a chair. So we will start with that. He's the first prize winner for the Quran recitation that we conducted during Ramadan. Then we will have a welcome speech as well as an introduction about NANMMA by Nasirka, UA Nasir. We will also have a short introduction, very brief introduction about what this is about, the Inspire, the project is about. And then Sinakwa is going to have a presidential address, and he will invite our guest of honor. And we will play a short video as an introduction to the speaker. Then we will hand over the stage for the keynote address. And then we talk for a moment for a few questions. So the plan is to have this all in about an hour. And if it's interesting, maybe a little more. That's the plan. Sure. So without any delay, let's start with the Quran recitation from Haifa.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Haifa. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless your family. And thanks for starting us off with a very short but the beautiful recitation. So I will invite Nasirka for a welcome speech. I don't think anybody, Nasirka needs an introduction. He has been with us from the beginning, even from one of the first people to join the organization or this initiative, and then have been with us as a backbone through the process. And he was the president for the last term, where we did a significant amount of work, activities, and has made an impact both here in the US as well as in Kerala in the last couple of years since we have formed. And he has taken the leadership of in coming up with all of these activities. So Nasirka, please join us and give us an introduction about NANMMA and for a welcome speech.
Thank you. Respected chief guest of today, Dr. Azad Moopen, Umar Sinab, Firoz Mustafa, Samadka, Dr. Amanullah, and all other leaders, friends, and family. Assalamu alaikum. Today it is a great day for our NANMMA family in US because we are starting a new step. And about NANMMA, I think all of you know about it. We started only in 2018 as just a good timer of the Kerala Muslims in North America. Now, within a short time, we are doing a lot of things for the community in United States, North America, as well as in Kerala. We have done some good reputed works during the our last Pralayam, first and two, and we have done a lot of things for the education activities in Kerala, and we are doing a lot of things for the more than 1,000 families in NANMMA family in North America, and it is going well. I don't want to take much of the time because we all are very eager to hear about our guest, my best friend, Dr. Azad Moopen. I don't want to make more introduction about him because somebody's doing that job. He is a very good entrepreneur, doctor, and our social activist, well-known Malayali guy, and we all are happy to see him today for this new step of the entrepreneurs of North America. I'm sure we'll get some good news, good limelights from his very good experience of his life. He will share everything for us. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Azad. And thank you for all my friends in NANMMA families. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Jazakallah khair, Mr. Ka. It's always good to hear from you and also good to see you. So, actually, I'm going to mix a little bit Malayalam into this. Karanam, I think the main objective of this event is to learn and inspire from you, Dr. Moopen. So you know, we want it to be as informal as we can and make everybody at ease. So what this, like, you know, typically Malayali related to the question, if you go to somebody with a concept, we get two questions, right? So what is it, and what's in it for me? So this is the two main questions that we would have about Inspire, or this new concept that we are introducing. So, like you will have, you need a lot of things that needs to come together, right? You need water, you need soil, you need the seed, and you need the right climate for it to grow. It is a very symbolic in when we start a business as well. You need a lot of factors to come together, and the whole concept of this Inspire is actually shown in that hand, which means NANMMA want to be that hand which is holding this all together, which brings all these people together. We want to connect all these elements together, and we want to help grow the business or an idea that somebody would have. NANMMA will not have any stake in it. It's a platform that all of these components can come together and they can grow on themselves. So it's a very good analogy that we have in this picture, and this is exactly what we want to communicate on how NANMMA is planning to take this concept forward. This is also not about starting a business or allowing people to fundraise for a business. It's actually, again, I want to repeat the same topic. It is a platform for people to come together and to bring all the resources that we have as our community to the front and make it available for the people who are in need, right? So this is also intended for people who want to start new businesses, as well as the people who are in business and they have some challenges which they can bring forth. So it's about mentoring, and it's about nurturing the talents and the needs that people will have. So as you see in this picture, we are starting very small. It's a seed at the moment, and inshallah, with everything that is going on, we will grow this, and our future generation will be able to see the fruit of what we have planted, inshallah. And may Allah accept from all of us for being part of this. So coming back to the agenda, so now I'll invite Sinaf. He's a very good friend of mine. We were in the college together, and alhamdulillah, we were able to connect here and many other places. Very happy and proud that he is the president of NANMMA at the moment. So I invite him for the presidential address, and also to invite our guest of honor, Sinaf.
Thank you, Feroz. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you. Assalamu alaikum, Honorable Dr. Azad Moopen and my dear NANMMA members. First of all, thank you to Nasirka for that short and sweet intro on NANMMA, and Feroz Mustafa for explaining the purpose of NANMMA Inspire. And I know it's almost 13 minutes into the hour, so I will not take time for a presidential address. Inshallah, I'm going to start with the introduction of the speaker of today's guest. It's my honor and privilege today to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Azad Moopen. As you all know, he's a person who doesn't need much introduction. The first time I landed in Dubai in 98, 99 time frame, Azad Moopen's name was one of the first few names that I heard, on some of the leaders of our Indian community in the Middle East. So from that point onwards, it was a pleasure watching the growth of Astor Group and Dr. Moopen. Plus, he's a very familiar figure to a lot of our folks here. As he mentioned, Dr. Amanullah is online. I believe Dr. Moideen Moopen is also here, and probably Dr. Majid Padwana and Dr. Tio Shanavas. So we have a lot of Dr. Moopen's friends who are from the medical community in the US who are present. And we all have heard a lot about your leadership and your growth of the company. So it's a pleasure to have you here today. So as I was doing some research on Dr. Azad Moopen in preparation for this meeting, I quickly realized that no matter how hard I try, I won't be able to do justice to his illustrious career in the short time that I have. From Kalpaganjeri to a lecturer at Calicut Medical College, to a one-doctor hospital in Dubai in 1987, to the current Astor healthcare empire that he has built. It has been a fantastic story. So what we thought was it's better to play a short biographical video that beautifully summarizes his professional and personal life and his philanthropical activities. So please take a few minutes to watch this video that I'm going to play. And please let me know if you cannot see the video or hear the audio. Is it clear?
Yes.
Dr. Azad Moopen, the visionary founder chairman of Astor DM Healthcare, always believes that healthcare is more than a business, primarily a service dedicated to saving lives and restoring wellness. The journey that Dr. Azad Moopen started with this strong conviction has touched and made significant positive changes in lives of millions. Son of late M.A. Moopen, a noble soul freedom fighter and social leader, Dr. Azad Moopen, a gold medal winner and postgraduate, started his career with a passion as a medical teacher. But a chance to visit Dubai exposed him to the immense possibilities of untapped healthcare sector in Gulf and took a life-changing decision of relocating to Dubai. Dr. Azad Moopen's dedicated journey through the healthcare landscape over the last 30 years was epoch-making. From a single doctor clinic in Dubai to a global healthcare conglomerate of more than 315 facilities spread across 9 countries. His healthcare empire, Aster DM Healthcare, now comprises of quaternary care and super specialty hospitals, medical and diagnostic centers, pharmacies, and a teaching hospital and allied services. Dr. Azad Moopen revolutionized healthcare sector in the region by creating a healthcare model and facilities which are accessible to different income groups and masses without compromising the service aspect of the noble medical profession. Along with providing medical care to millions of people across geographies, Aster DM Healthcare now provides direct employment to more than 19,000 people, including 2,200 doctors, 9,500 nurses, paramedics, and the numbers are growing. A dedicated philanthropist, Dr. Azad Moopen has embarked on numerous social initiatives through Aster DM Foundation and Dr. Moopen Family Foundation. A compassionate humanitarian, Dr. Azad Moopen, through his initiatives in the field of healthcare, education, and women and social empowerment, is giving succor and hope to millions across geographies. Governments and institutions have lost no time to recognize and acknowledge the genius in this exemplary social architect through numerous awards and honors. He was conferred Padma Shri, the 4th highest civilian award in India. Forbes magazine recognized him as one of the most powerful Indian leaders in the Arab world and among 100 influential Indians in the world in 2014. A stern believer in values, Dr. Moopen balances his work and family life, where he has been ably supported by his loving wife Nasira and 3 daughters, their families and grandchildren. To prepare the empire he has painstakingly built over the years to meet future challenges and anchoring it on a sustainable road to progress, Dr. Moopen has now started handing over the day-to-day operations of the group to professionals. By freeing himself from the arduous responsibilities of day-to-day running of the organization, he hopes to devote his time more for humanitarian initiatives that are close to his heart. The humanitarian in him has ensured that 20% of his personal wealth would be transferred to the initiatives that would work for the betterment of the less privileged.
What an amazing story. I encourage all of us here to go and learn more about Azad Moopen's beginnings and how he built this business empire, so that that may inspire some of the budding entrepreneurs of this group here. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Dr., businessman, family man, philanthropist, and a great living inspiration to all of us, Dr. Azad Moopen. Welcome, sir. So, Dr. Azad, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot to both Omar Sinaf, President Feroz Mustafa, as well as to my friend Nasir for giving this opportunity. I also must thank my cousin Muhyiddin Moopen, who has been instrumental in getting this connection established, as well as Kunji Muhammad, who has been always contacting with our office and coordinating this. I have a lot of my friends, including Dr. Amanullah and many others who are there. I'm not addressing them individually. And thank you all. I know that large number of people, even Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, it's not easy to be there. So thank you very much for being there. So I think that it's very important we just reflect, introspect, and look at what we have achieved and what is the reason for that. So when I look at whatever small achievements that I have made in my life, I should say Alhamdulillah. That I think is the most important thing, grace of God. So when I look back, I see that many things fell into place and created a platform for me to launch myself or take off myself and reach where I am. It is a part of it may be further to that has been hard work, but the stage was set for me to be successful by something which is beyond us, which is Almighty. So when I look at it, I am reminded of what Warren Buffett said. Warren Buffett, on his 80th birthday, was asked by a journalist, what is your the recipe for your success? How did you reach here? This is on his 80th birthday. So he said that I was lucky to be at the right place at the right time among the right people. That is the reason for my success. If 80 years back I was born in Africa as a laborer, maybe even a female, there would not have been a Warren Buffett. Because I am a white Caucasian in Omaha, I was born to parents in this country, in US. That's why there is a Warren Buffett now, which tells us the importance of what God decides and what we are and what is that is we are now showcasing as our achievements. How little of that is ours. So friends, I just want to congratulate NANMMA for this exciting opportunity that you are creating for aspiring people. Aspiring people, especially in a country which is the richest country in the world, which is the greatest country in the world, the most powerful country in the world. There is no doubt about that. USA is the country which is, maybe there are periods like now what you see and what has been mentioned already, like how the pandemic was managed, or what are the racial issues there and other problems. But US is the most important country in the world. But is it something permanent? No. That's something which I would like to just briefly touch as we go forward. But you are lucky. You are in a country which is so powerful, so rich, and all of you yourself are achievers. You have reached this land of opportunity by hard work. You have placed yourself in good positions there because of the hard work. Maybe some of you might have come 60 years back, some of you 50, some of you 20, some of you 10, or people just who might have landed. But you have the platform which has been given to you. And as I mentioned earlier, this in itself is God's play which is happening. Now, we have to work on that. So with that in mind, when NANMMA sets up something where they want to help people who come there and who want to come there and also who want to go out, I understand that even that is part of NANMMA's agenda, where you are a platform which can connect people, especially people who are in business or profession, who can keep this as a networking platform and can utilize the strength, because 1 + 1 is not usually 2. It is 3 or 4, even much more than that. The synergy of people joining is much more powerful than what the arithmetic of that is. So you have created that. I, first of all, appreciate Nasir Saib and other founder leaders, as well as the people who are leading now, for setting up a platform like this. Now, coming back to what I said, the powerful country, we have seen, when you look back, 5,000 years back, world civilization started in India, in the Indus Valley. It traveled, and 3,000 years back, it was in Egypt. We know the Nile and the Pharaohs and the Nile, which was the cradle of civilization at that point of time. Then about 1,000 years back, it went to Europe. Rome first, remained there for many centuries. And from there, it went to United Kingdom or Great Britain, which was the empire which was spread across the world for many centuries. And we were all under that. And only 200 or 250 years back, this reached the USA. And what's happening now? Now there is a shift again. There is a power going now to China, and it's only a matter of time. This power will shift. It's only maybe another 25 years, 50 years. There could be an equally strong country or a country which has to be reckoned with. And from there, we hope that it will come back to India. Because 5,000 years back, this journey started in India, and it is taking a circle, and it will come back because everybody predicts that we are going to be the most powerful country in another maybe 30, 40 years. And it's going to happen. There's no doubt from what you have seen, like this travel which happened already, it will come back. So are we prepared? Are we preparing our children for that? That is the biggest question. We have a responsibility to make leaders, and our children must be taught how that leadership could be developed. That is one of our major responsibilities. Leave alone what the discussion for today is, that how this platform can help and how we can connect people, how this can temporarily help, but on a larger scale. I heard Haifa now reciting Holy Quran. Those are the people who we must be focusing on, because they are our future. In another 25 years, they are the people who are the leaders of the world, and the Ummah, the Muslim community, we must look at having that leadership ready when this bandwagon comes back to India, our country. So that is one of the important things which I want to say. This is God's work which is happening. He doesn't allow this to be in one place, be it people, be it empires, be it countries, be it whatever you call it, the political system. Maybe earlier it was the emperors who ruled the world. Then you had all the capitalists, communists and all. Then you have the liberals coming. And all these systems will change. Something new will come. But we see an opportunity here, and let us prepare for that, not ourselves, but our children. We have to be preparing leaders for the future, which is a responsibility. Now, coming back to ground, what we are now. So people ask me sometimes, what is the formula for success? How do you make whatever, as has been mentioned here, I have been, by grace of God, I had the privilege to have everything. Starting from my birth, I was born into a rich family. I had good education. And after that, I had a good profession. I was in the medical college teaching like what has been told. Then I came to Gulf, not in fact for taking up a job or starting a business. I came here on a philanthropic purpose. That again tells that the importance of giving back. I came here not to look at a job. I was actually teaching in the medical college at Calicut, and I was very happy there. And I wanted to live there as a teacher in medicine, and was continuing very happy with that job. But at that point, it was God's push that brought me to UAE. And at that point, I never thought that I'll come back here. But God had other plans. I came here. I came to work for somebody. And I was bent upon going back after 2 years. I started the job. Then the person who is a friend of mine who was with me in the medical college Calicut, he had come here and established a clinic with whom I came to work. He told me that, Azad, I think that Ajman at that point of time, which was a small village, not even a town, this is not the place where you should be. You should be going to Dubai and doing something. I was so surprised because I had come to work for 2 years and go back to India and resume teaching. So he told me, Dr. Ali, who is still practicing in Ajman, and his wife Aisha, they were so nice to me. And in spite of my resistance for many weeks, they pushed me into Dubai and helped me in starting a clinic in Dubai. So that is God's hand play. God is pushing you. You don't want to come to Dubai for a job. You come here for charity. You then don't want to start anything. Then God pushes you and tells your friend that this chap should go into Dubai and do something. He has a future. And you come to Dubai, then it's all your friends and all helping you. And the only thing when God knocks on your door that you should do is to open it. Open it. Don't complain of noise pollution. Many times what happens is that when opportunity knocks, we complain of noise pollution and we don't open. You open the door and then it is 50% He, Almighty, and 50% yourself. So again, I am stressing the importance of what God decides on you. The right place, right time, among right people. Then you don't want to do something, God pushes you. So that is the most important thing. Then beyond that, what? Is God giving you everything on a platter? No. He won't give you. He will show you the way. He will push you. Then it's your responsibility. And that is something which we have to take ourselves. As it has been told, it is 99% perspiration and it's only 1% inspiration. When you look at successful people, you will find that there is the story of many, many nights, sleepless night, toil, which has helped them to reach this place where they are sitting now. Everybody will tell you that this is luck. He is so lucky. God has given him everything. Of course, God has given him the opportunity. But beyond that, I know a lot of people who are successful and whom you know by name now. All these people have struggled. And to some extent, even a person like me, I've been teaching their medicine. I came here to Dubai and I had to do everything. I was like a general practitioner. The only thing which I haven't did probably at that point of time is taking deliveries. Beyond that, I used to look after children. I used to look after old people. I used to do small surgeries, everything. And that also not few hours. From morning 8 to night 12, I used to work. And in the night, again, I used to get up for some of the emergencies. I used to climb ships to see a patient who is in the ship sick and go in the sea and see such patients. It was 10, 15 years of hard work, which provided the platform for me to make something which I later now, looking back, people don't know these stories. They see me as Dr. Azad Moopen, who is whatever you showed in the video. But there is years and years of hard work, which has helped me to, utilize that opportunity which has been given. And is it sufficient, just hard work? No. You will find a lot of people who do hard work and that is not sufficient. You must have proper goals in life. You should have vision in life to reach somewhere. So you should have long-term vision. What is that you want to do? You should have a medium term vision and you should have short-term visions. Goals which you are to achieve every day or every week. Decide that what is that you want to do. And that should give you that lighthouse towards which you are going. That is very, very important. And along with that, what I have found is that the most important thing, apart from having a vision and then breaking it down to missions, which are of smaller duration. The vision is much more longer, but the missions are maybe it is 5 years, maybe it is 2 years, maybe it is 1 year, and maybe it is even a project which you are doing. The missions are something which you have to accomplish, for which you have to put in hard work. Is it sufficient? You have a vision, you are hardworking. Is it sufficient? No. What is the other ingredient which is needed? The other ingredient that is needed for success is the teamwork for which you must be a person who is able to get a team together. I have found that the team is as important or more important than the goal, as well as the hard work that you are putting in. Because you have limited capability of doing things. If you can get people who can along with you do the work along with you, happily, committed and dedicated for the whatever you are foreseeing as a goal, that's your success. And now what is happening for people like me? We have 20,000 people working with us. And one of my greatest joy is that this 20,000 people, along with that their families, 100,000 people, at least once in a while think about you and pray for you, because they are part of the family. So that is the most important thing. If you can really inspire them to work towards a cause, that is going to be your success. And in healthcare, it's very important that you have to set the goal right, because I'm in healthcare. Maybe in other businesses it is different. I'm not going into other areas, but in healthcare, it's very important to set the right goal. So we, from the very beginning, as a philosophy, taught and practiced that in healthcare, profit has to be a byproduct. Profit shouldn't be the aim. Whenever you are doing something, you think about how is this going to help people, save lives, and how is it going to serve people. That must be your aim whenever you set up something. Maybe it is a hospital, a clinic, a pharmacy, or you are buying an equipment, whatever it is. If you think that how much money you are going to make out of it, then that niyya is not correct. If your niyyat is correct, then you will reach there. So do things, and you have a team along with you who have bought into this and who are driving it forward along with you. And if you have that, success is guaranteed. There is no doubt about success. And when you say that profit is a byproduct, it is not aim. For people like me or us, the company, we have got a lot of profit. We have a large number of people who are bought into this, and they are working hard, which is providing the profit. It is helping people first, and then providing as a byproduct the profit. God will give you. And then what? Does it stop there? I don't think so. You have to think beyond. How can you give back at least part of what is with you? Because God has been so kind to all of us. All those who are listening to this are people who have been blessed by God to be in a country which is so rich, powerful, and who have the opportunities. So it's our duty to give back at least part of what we have. There have been souls which have given back everything. We have not reached that stage. But at least a part of what you have, can you give it back? That is the ultimate thing. That gives you the happiness, the accomplished feeling that you have proven yourself, you have done things, God has been kind to you. Now, if you take care of His children, He will take care of you as well as your children. That is something which you should keep in mind always, once you, even after reaching your goal. So, to conclude, it has been already 20-25 minutes. We have to have a session on QA on, I will be very happy to answer your questions. So what I want to conclude is that success, according to me, just to recap, one, you have to be at the right place at the right time, and this only Almighty God can provide us. And we have to say Alhamdulillah and say Bismillah and start on that journey. And second, have a goal, and that goal should be something where you are able to provide something to people rather than your self-centered goals. And then have a team of people who are ready to buy in and work with you, whatever be that area, and drive towards that. You have to have the passengers in the bus, and even before you deciding your journey, you have to have the people identified, and then you be the driver and drive it forward. That's very, very important. And then you reach that goal, and whatever achievements you have, give back a part of that to the people who are in need. And this is what we have to do. And is it sufficient if you have a vision and if you have a mission and if you embark on that? No. You have to execute it properly. Vision and mission without execution is just hallucination. You know, the great President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, whom we all adore. I had the good opportunity to be with him for sufficiently long period, 3 times in my life, and I consider it one of my greatest blessings. And he is somebody who inspires people. So he has told that you have to keep on dreaming. Dreaming means you have to set vision, goals and all. That's what he means. You have to keep on dreaming. And you have to dream with your eyes wide open and your feet firmly fixed on your ground. That is the dreaming which will take you to your goals. The dream that you have in sleep, the hallucination which I mentioned, won't take you anywhere. What will take you to your goal is the dream that you have with your eyes wide open and your feet firmly fixed on the ground. So I wish you all a very, very bright life for yourself, your family, and also to protect you from the present sinister monster of COVID-19, which I'm sure that now being in the downward trend, we will be out of that without much delay. That's what we all hope and pray. And we have to live with that. It is not that by a shutdown it is going to go away. We'll have to live with that, and maybe a medicine to treat that as well as a vaccine will come. And this will go away. Now you have, as you mentioned in the initial presentation, you have, speech, you have situations in the country, especially in US, as well as in India. You have situations which are not very congenial for the people, and there are a lot of things happening. But these are all temporary. Don't get disheartened by that. It's all temporary when you look at 5,000 years, which I mentioned earlier. So let us look at a future where we prepare our children to be leaders for the future. Along with that, we make our life brighter professionally in business and give back a part of what we have. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Jazakallah khair. That was quite an inspiring speech. Actually, my 10-year-old son was next to me and he was looking up when you said 1 + 1 is not equal to 2. So we will open the floor up for questions. To avoid the noise, what we have done is to ask people or request people to put their questions on the chat, and we can sequence them. We have a few people that is helping to sort them and bring it up so we can ask the relevant questions. I think we have compiled 1 or 2 early enough. I think Sinafbhai, you have a few of the questions that you have prepared, so maybe you start and then we get to the rest of the items. You're on mute. I cannot hear you.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. So did you want me to ask the first question or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Dr. Moopen, you mentioned that, actually in the video it was mentioned that you are now focusing more on philanthropical activities and trying to pass on the mantle to the next generation or a professional group. So how do you manage to ensure that your initial dream, your initial vision, and your niyyah is transferred to the next generation also?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. One of the responsibilities of a leader while he is active is delegation. And the second responsibility is succession planning. So if people are not delegating with empowerment, very important, delegation with empowerment, and finding out right people and delegating, then they are not going to grow. So a successful leader, like what I mentioned, you should have team, means you should identify leaders who can take up things, and you have to empower them and believe them. Only thing is that you have to select the right people. So I have been lucky in having a large number of people who are in the organization, because we are in different countries, 8 countries now. So you should believe somebody and entrust with them. So we have such people who have proved themselves, and there are some failures also. Naturally, out of the 100 people, maybe there are 20 who are not successful. So, and you have to take it out also. So that's one level. The next one is the succession planning at the top level. So this is also a very, very important exercise. You have to make sure that for each post, there is somebody who is there as a successor. And for us, it has become a responsibility, part of the KPI, for the person who is holding the post to show who is going to succeed. That's part of a major part of the KPI. And he has to fulfill that. Otherwise, he loses that mark and is not considered to be somebody who is good to be in an organization. So we have such things happening at different levels. Now at the top level, so I had to showcase that I myself have to do this. So 5 years back, we started this exercise, and we selected a CEO to lead the company when I had to come out. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. The person was supposed to join, it didn't happen. Then again, we tried for somebody else. By that time, my daughter, who had joined about 10 years back, who is a chartered accountant, and who has studied, in fact, in US. She was in University of Michigan, where she did her BBA, and Dr. Amanullah was her local guardian. And from there, she went to UK and did her chartered accountancy there. For 7 years, she was with the EY. And then she came and worked with us for 5 to 6 years. So by the time she came here, she had sufficient experience. And by the time this second round of looking for a new leader started, people started coming back to me saying that, why don't we give her this chance? Because she is now capable. She has the qualification as well as she has the experience, and people will accept her because she is the daughter of the founder. So I also started looking at that. Then I left it to the board of directors, who decided she can come in. So this had a huge advantage. Advantage was that maybe there would have been a better person to come in with more of skills, but she had the culture which was required, because she has seen me. She is now about 38 years old. So for 38 years, she has seen me, and she knows the culture. It is in her blood and gene. So that way, and now if people feel that she is right for this job, that relieves me of a lot of my anxieties regarding how this company will go forward. So that is a great, if it was just I had pushed this person to the job, I would not have been happy. But this happened organically, and I am happy that she has both the capabilities as well as the culture which is required. So answering your question, it's I hope that this transition to my daughter, who will be now taking up after 3 years. What we have started doing is that giving on responsibility each year to her, and she in another 3 years is supposed to take over from me the managing director post. And of course, we will be on the board and watching her and looking at her performance. It is not that she can do what she wants, but if she is doing well, she has got a good opportunity. So that's what regarding succession planning and how to continue the culture that I have to tell.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Doctor. That was a very detailed response, and it's even important for us too, because of our nonprofit. We have leadership changes every few years, and it's always good to get your thought process on that. And all the best to your daughter. Actually, I also went to Michigan Ross, by the way, and I live 20 miles from the school here. So,
okay.
So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Mashallah, thank you so much. So I think at the base of the question where you stopped, it actually shows as a parent, you are successful, and you were able to guide her and coach her to this point while you are managing such a huge business empire. So, as a parent, as a normal person, while growing up, what was your dream of her? And, and also you have many other kids, right? So, how as a, like, while you're managing all of this, how do you coach and guide them to be with you side by side?
Yeah. So this is again coming from Alhamdulillah, grace of God. One important thing is that anybody for that matter should be focusing on role balancing in life. If you are a failure in role balancing, you are going to be a failure in your life. When you, in your epitaph, you won't be seen as a successful person. See, you have different roles in your life. One is your profession or business. One is your family. One is your social life. And one is the responsibility or role to yourself, which actually is the most important role. The one towards yourself. Are you doing the role towards yourself well? Are you taking care of your health? Are you exercising? Are you having proper medical checkups? These are all roles which are directed towards you. So in the role balancing, you should keep yourself as center, because that's the one which will drive everything else. Then you have role as a family man, to your wife, to your children, to your parents and people who are around you. And then as a social being, you have the responsibility to the community and activities like what you are doing now. And one of the most important responsibilities, whether you are growing up as a student, that's your highest professional responsibility, then as a professional or as a businessman. So how can you manage these 4 or 5 roles is the most important thing. If you are able to do that, you will be able to find quality time to spend with your children. Many times what happens is that we focus on a single thing. Maybe we are very good in our profession, but very bad in managing our family, or very bad in social life, or very bad to yourself. That shouldn't happen. There has to be a proper balance in a successful man's life. And if you are giving that time of 25% or 30%, or towards now, as I am getting older and going out of the responsibility, I spend much more time with family than what I used to 25 years back. So you have the advantage of having grandchildren. I have 5 grandchildren, and I have that advantage also of spending time with all of them. And I had lost maybe some of the time with my children, but with my grandchildren. The most important thing with your, if you want your children to be successful, is to give them time, especially before the age of 10, when their characters are formed. If you can instill into them the culture, and if you can tell them what is that is required, what is goodness, and what is that they should do and what is that they shouldn't do, that will go to their minds. Not tell them, to show them. Telling is not sufficient. You have to showcase to them what is to be done. They will watch you every day, and if you are able to show them what is to be done, that is the greatest success. You may not even tell them, but show to them what is to be done. I, to some extent, I think has been successful because my daughters have been well grounded, and they have been doing whatever is required. Maybe in some areas they are not to what our liking is, but most of the areas, alhamdulillah, I've been able to guide them, and they have been able to follow what we wanted. That's what I wanted to say.
MashaAllah, actually, it shows how you became successful, your answer, managing all of these roles. And, I think this is one of the advices that I heard. Very good, very good. One other thing, when we were, I think there is some
echo coming. Echo, there is some echo.
Okay. So when we were looking for an appropriate person to launch this initiative, there is more echo. So we came across you, and one of the most important factors that we saw, and being as a doctor also, we know how hard it is and how much time that you dedicate to the patients, and even one clinic is a business for you, right? So how did you find the demand that you saw in building an organization and going after making it bigger and bigger, while you have so much, we always get settled into the area that we have, and we are busy with the close demands that we would have. But you had a vision, and you were able to see further than what normal people would do. And how did that happen, and how was that transition?
Yeah. So this is very important, how you grow and how do you find out opportunities. So this again, no, in my case, this was actually due to the demands in the market, or pull by the market rather than push by creating something and offering it. When I came to Dubai in 1987, when I started the first clinic, there was huge requirement for medical care here. There was requirement for clinics, pharmacies, and people were suffering. And we started new clinics, new pharmacies in different locations, and found that it also makes financial sense. So there was a money coming back, and we could reinvest it into that. Then suddenly we found that in Calicut, where we have a large hospital, 600-bed hospital, there is a dearth of good facility, and the medical college was not able to provide many of the tertiary quaternary care, and we set up a hospital in Calicut. So I'm just giving an example. So it was more from the pull or the demand rather than the supply side. We can do both. We can increase the supply and try to push it in places where it is required, or look at the demand and provide something in that place. So it was a demand which we were meeting, which was in the area of healthcare, which helped us to spread it to different areas in the Gulf as well as in India where it is required. So that, I think, was the way in which we went forward mostly. Even now we follow that whenever there is a new township coming in Dubai or in other Gulf countries, we look at the demand and then provide something there. So just extending that, we have realized that in many of the Gulf countries, it is getting saturated, except maybe Saudi Arabia, because the population is so low in other countries. The requirement for healthcare is slowly coming down, and in fact, there is a saturation, and people are not doing as well as they were doing maybe 10 years back, 15 years back. So what we are now looking at is where is the opportunity for providing this service and what can be done to help people. So we are now looking at many of these opportunities in India where there's a huge requirement. The demand supply gap is huge, and we are trying to have more focus on India rather than in the Gulf countries. So you have to always look at the demand, healthcare, how you can provide it, how you can help people, and that should be the way in which this expansion should be happening.
Jazakallah khair. So we are at 1 minute before 11. I think we have about 2 or 3 more questions that we can address. Do you have a few more?
Yeah, I have time. I have time. So I have the only engagement after this, it is about 10 here. So the only engagement after this is to see a movie with my wife. So I'm quite fine, nothing serious to do.
You have to share which movie it is.
So we have some good Malayalam movies which come here, gets released now with this. Some of the movies from Kerala come here, and now it is all released on the internet and all. No, so you get a lot of good movies coming here, Hindi movies, Malayalam movies. So I watched yesterday that MS Dhoni, because that Sushant Rajput died. No, very good movie. I suggest all of you should watch that, especially that he died recently, and we really like that. So this is all catching up for what I couldn't do when I was practicing up to 12 o'clock. Now at least I can come back, or I am at home and I can watch movies with my wife, or I can be on Zoom with my children and grandchildren. So these are the benefits of the lockdown period. So please go ahead, whatever questions you have.
Actually, watching MS Dhoni it also shows towards the business or a goal, right? Like how persistent he was towards what he had, and he kept on going in that direction. I think this is a question that is relevant for a lot of us who wants to do business at heart, but we are not able to do it. In the sense, when we work and we get into an environment where we are secure and we are comfortable, like in the business, we say, like, at least in a, it was again from a movie where I have heard, like, you, as a businessman, you should think with your heart, not with your brain. So you see an opportunity, you jump into it with 2 feet, and you may or may not succeed in it. But a lot of us would think with our brain, which will ask us to be secure, be safe, and then rather than taking risk, you minimize the risk, right? So how do we take the step of leaving the comfort and leaving the safety that we have and do something like this, which can trigger a bigger cause? And also, there is a second part to it, which is, when you start, would you start with, like, normally when we do something, we would want to have the full safety net behind that, and then we would want to start. Your advice would be to do that and then you start, which will elongate the process, or we do it and we go and we learn and struggle as we go along. What would be your take on this?
Yeah, so we have to see, we shouldn't be fools to jump into something which we don't know. We have to take sufficient precautions. I'm not saying that you have to do things just because you want to do things, and without looking at the risk and all, you should not be doing. In that connection, I even wanted to say that I have some of my friends who are in the Gulf as well as in other countries, Europe and US, who have started businesses in India and all, or people from there who have come and started the business here or in Europe or in US and all. What I have found is that it's very important that you have a local partner, somebody who is there, maybe somebody who is trustworthy and all, who can take care of the business. It's always good to have trustworthy people with you as a partner when you are going into a new geography. If you are starting something in your own place, and if you are sufficiently confident that there is a business model, and after doing all your analysis, you think that it is having some risk, but at the same time, it is something where there is a potential. It's a gut feeling that as an entrepreneur that you have to take. See, if you stand on the shore, the example which you are telling, and think about the safety of the shore, which definitely while you are standing on the shore, there is a safety. And if you are not jumping into the sea and swimming, you are not going to reach the other shore. You will always remain on this shore, and you are not going to cross the sea and going to the other level. People have taken risk, calculated risk. I'm not saying that you should not have a life buoy or you should not have support, but you have to take that risk. That risk is very important if you have to be successful. Otherwise, you can always continue on your job. I know hundreds of people who remain in a very safe job. They might have seen an opportunity to start something of their own or branch out, but they always hesitate because they think that it is risky. It's fine. They continue with that job and they have that, so they don't take that road less traveled. If you have to see new opportunities and reach new places, you have to travel on road less traveled. Robert Frost very famously told that only if you take up that road, you will reach. So my answer to your question is that you have to take risk, but calculated risk. Look at whatever is possible to look at and de-risk yourself. But at some point, you will have to take some risk if you have to go ahead. And there will be a lot of obstacles coming in. That's the most important thing. You will face a mountain. You will face a mountain while you are going on a journey. Then what do? You can return, saying that there's a mountain there, I want to come back. Or you can decide to go around the mountain and go to the other side and reach your destination. Or another person may think of going over the mountain and coming down and reaching your destination. Or still another person may think of, making a tunnel in the mountain and reaching the other side. But you have to decide that you want to reach the other side and not going back. So that is very important. You have to be persistent, and perseverance is very, very important. Patience is very important. These three P's, persistence, patience, and perseverance, will take you to your destination. There will be a lot of falls, but it's not how many times you fell that's important in boxing. It's how many times you got up from the fall. So even if you fall, get up from the fall and fight it. You will ultimately be successful.
Jazakallah khair. So we'll have two more questions. This one is based on one of the quote that you had from Warren Buffett about being the right place at the right time. The question is actually, how do we measure that? How do we know that this is the right time, right?
Yeah. So here, again, you will have to now, look at the overall situation and look at the opportunities and decide that whether this is a place where, for example, if I had come to Dubai now and decided to start or has been pushed to start a clinic, is it the right time to start something in Dubai, a new venture like starting a clinic? Is there a demand? Is there a business model there which can be successful? Are people asking for medical care? No, they are not asking, because there are plenty of healthcare facilities and there is a saturation like what I mentioned. So in such a situation, do you start something where there is no market? So you'll have to decide. It is not that just because you reach somewhere you think that this is God has sent you here. Maybe it is even testing. He is testing you. You'll have to now, once reaching there, you'll have to make sure, are these people nice people? If I had reached Saudi Arabia at that point of time instead of Dubai, maybe I would not have stayed back, because it's a different set of people which you see in Saudi Arabia, different from what you have in Dubai. The people in Dubai are different and they are very business friendly and they support, like in what you have in US and all, entrepreneurship is promoted and they take you as partners and they allow you to grow. So if I had reached Saudi Arabia at that point, I would not have decided to go ahead. Or if I had reached Dubai at this point of time, I would not have gone ahead. So that is your capability to estimate what is the situation and decide what you have to do.
Thank you. The final question is related to the Inspire itself. So now that we have a platform and our vision is to bring people together and power businesses from this atmosphere, what advice would you have, and what would be the baby steps that we should take from your perspective, right? If you are given this opportunity, what would be your advice to us in how we take this forward?
No, it's a fantastic thought what you have put into, especially in this situation where we can all connect electronically through different methods. That the connecting all the Muslim families in US and Canada is a great thought, because all these people are either professionals or businessmen and they all have very high the per capita income and they have the potential. So connecting these people in itself is a great opportunity. If you have 1,500 families and if just a messaging center for this, if there is some opportunity coming and if you are able to spread it, that in itself is you have achieved something. Now, whenever there are people who are interested to do something in India from among the community, you must see that what is the best way in which they can be guided. There must be a way in which you can have connections with people back in India as well as the officials and all in India. There are people like UNSCR and all who have got excellent connection in Kerala and all. There will be other people, and you will have to have a networking happening there if they want to do something in India. People from India coming to US to start something. There are a lot of them. I already know at least 3 or 4 of our groups who have come from India and GCC to US recently, who want to set up their business there. So there are a lot of opportunities. But my view is that instead of the businesses which they are doing in their countries, you must be looking at providing them information as well as opportunity to look at the future next generation businesses like the artificial intelligence, machine learning, or areas like data processing, algorithms, or 3D printing, and all that areas where you are good at and where America is good at. America has conquered the world. Earlier we used to say that 25 years back, I remember, America sells chicken all over the world, and that is what they have now. That was the situation 25 years back. But in the last 10-15 years, because of the electronics, what has been achieved by the different firms in telecommunication and electronics, America has conquered the whole world. So those areas in Silicon Valley and the related areas where there is huge potential for setting up new generation businesses and new skill set to be developed, that should be the focus rather than traditional business, which definitely has got a potential. But I would suggest that especially those who are into such areas to provide ideas as well as conduct webinars for people in India who wants to take it up as a profession or a job, or even they want to start studying that, because we know that jobs which are 15-20 years later are not going to be what it is there now. At least 50% of the jobs will be extinguished. You don't have that job even in medicine. I was reading recently regarding medicine. What is being said is that many of the jobs which are the routine jobs which are being done by the doctors will disappear. And what will be left off will be like the geriatric care, where the machines can't do it as well as a nurse or a doctor can do, or certain areas where a human touch is required. Many of the places where it is not required, it is all calculations, it is all diagnosis, machines will take over is what people are telling. Like that in all areas. So what are those areas which will have opportunity later? What are those areas which new development will help you? Maybe it is the psychologist who is the most important post. Now it may not be that important, but maybe it is psychologist which is important. Maybe it is telepsychology, having the psychologist in India and providing the service in US will be a great business. Maybe it is teleradiology, telepathology, tele-ICU, where connecting technology and having the low-cost job being done in India, which is going to be the greatest opportunity. So you must be able to put in these ideas and connect people, rather than somebody who runs a business already in GCC or in India coming there and setting up the same business. You must be looking ahead and looking at ways in which how the technology is going to change in 10-15 years, how it is going to affect us as well as our future generation.
Thank you so much. I think that is a line of thought that, when we talk about business, we normally think in a traditional way. So this is actually a good line of thought that we could take away from this. And finally, I would like to get a message from you for our parents and also the kids and the youth that is watching this program. In a short way to put, how do we make more Azad Moopens, right? So if you can give us a message and a short thought from your side.
Thank you very much. It's a great compliment. It's great. I really appreciate what you have told. And so what we will be seeing as we go forward, maybe it is another 50 years, and we may not even be able to believe that it is. possible that the way in which the changes in biotechnology and informatics is going on, in 50 years you may have cloning happening all over the world, and all of us can be cloned. So that is something which can happen after not even 50 years, after 20 years it is going to happen. They say that by 2050 you will have a lot of clones happening, and then what I read recently is that living becomes default and death is going to be optional. So you switch off. When you feel that you want to die, you switch off. So we as Muslims can't believe in this. We know that death is predestined and we will die at some point of time. But anyway, leaving apart that, for the children and for the youth and the students and of course their parents, and we know that child is the father of man, and they have to be actually the people who have to be focused. So my advice to the parents is that, like what I said in the initial opening remarks, we have to focus on them. So spend time with them, quality time. You have to give them the quality time, whatever be your, the pressures on you by way of business or profession. Please see that quality time is being spent with children. That will be the best investment that you can make in your life. Don't be distracted by many things. Even when you are sitting at home, I'll just tell a story which will give you this, this is happening to all of us, including me even after that. My 7-year-old granddaughter was sitting with me on my side on a Sunday, on a Saturday. We have holiday here Friday and Saturday. And she was actually speaking to me about her schools and things like that. So we were having a good time. And suddenly there was a sound from my mobile phone, which was like a message came, WhatsApp message came. I looked at that. I again looked at that. And then I went to the next message. Then I saw there is something else, an email has to be looked at. So this whole thing, she was keeping on speaking. And then I was keeping on doing this, and I was not, even though physically present there, mentally I was not present there. So suddenly after 5 or 10 minutes, she asked me, she calls me Uppa. So Uppa, whom do you love most? Was her question. So I said that, so suddenly I got into this presence, and I said, her name is Laya. I said that, Laya, I love you the most, because other grandchildren are not around. So there was not, diplomatically not wrong to say that. So I said that, Laya, I love you most. What is the doubt? Then she said something which struck me so much. Even now, as soon as I touch my mobile phone, when there are people around, it hits me like anything. So she told me, I don't think that you love me. You love your mobile phone more than me. This is what she said. So she had spent that quality time with me and she was enjoying. Then suddenly I get distracted and spend my time on mobile phone without listening to her. So what I am trying to say is that provide quality time to your family and especially to the growing children. That is something which to the parents and to the children. You are our hope, you are the future. And the new normal is not going to be, not post-COVID, the new normal life after 10 years, 15 years going to be entirely different. The jobs that you see today is not going to be there tomorrow. So think ahead and deliberate it yourself as well as with your parents and decide on something which will have relevance after 15, 20 years. And have a aim in goal, aim in life, and work hard. And there is no substitute for perspiration. Don't think that if you just daydream, you will reach anywhere. You have to make it a reality by working day in, day out, and working towards that. And that's my advice. Perspiration is more important than inspiration.
Thank you so much. So we will wind up the program. just one wish that I think for all of us, it is that I think for you, you have felt there was a cause for you, and Allah has shown you some signs, and you were able to take that sign. And in your heart, you are at a point where you felt like you took the right step, right? So I wish this on all of us. At a certain point in our life, we feel the same, right? We have seen the signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we were able to take those steps, and we can look back and say, mashallah, and that is what I would wish from this. Now, I would invite Samadika. So if there is one person in NANMMA that kind of live, breathe, and dream NANMMA, this would be Samadika. He is our chairman. And he, from the beginning until now, he has been in the background, and he makes sure everything happens, and he puts everybody together and keeps everything together. So I would invite him to come on and have the vote of thanks.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Again, it's Alhamdulillah, it's another great initiative from NANMMA new board of directors, and I think it's one of the positive side of our lockdown and the stress we are going through, and that's one of the reason I think we got a great opportunity to meet Dr. Azad Moopen. He's having always a very busy schedule, and he was very happy to share us extra time with us. That's one of the positive side of the lockdown. And I thought it will be a purely inspirational speech for the entrepreneurship, but Dr. Azad Moopen has given us how to balance our entire life as a good Muslim, as a father, as a grandfather, as a physician, as a healthcare entrepreneur, and as a philanthropist. So we learned a lot, and we are so overwhelmingly happy to see that, and we learned a lot. As a NANMMA, a budding organization, we formed is registered as 3 years ago, but as a non-profit organization, also your remarks were very valuable for us. The value of our teamwork, and also the niyyah, how to help the humanity, and Allah will bring us the success, and you won't be regretful with your iman in that case. And we are so happy, and today is, I think, world is celebrating as a Father's Day, and you gave us a good lesson as a father, how you handle the teenagers. That's what is, I think, most of the teenagers' parents going through when they are immigrated to other countries. So, mashallah, it is again a great opportunity. Then I just felt towards the end of your talk, one of the things during this COVID lockdown, we were going through the stress at the most, and the job loss and the other things. The telepsychology, which we can maybe have with Kerala health care providers, that is one of the opportunity. Maybe we will have some more research and how to happen, and your guidance will be very helpful with that because, yeah. So again, Jazakallah khair, and may Allah bless you, and with a good health and more success in your life, and more guidance to our community. And to happen this, a lot of people worked behind, as mentioned, Azad from Colorado and Kunyu from LA. They were working very hard to happen this program. And also Muhyiddin Moopen, then our new team, President Sinaf, Firoz, everyone deserve a big applause, and thank Jazakallah khair, all the best. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We had quite a few questions that we were not able to address. If we are able to summarize and compile it, is there a way we can get that to you, Doctor?
Yeah. Yeah, you could send this to my office manager, and so whenever I get time, I can just record it and send it back, which you may be able to circulate.
Okay.
Rather than connect one-to-one, we can do something like that.
Okay.
Important questions, if it is useful for the community, we can You have a website, no? Maybe you can post it, or on the online you can send it. That will be better.
Yes, inshallah. So thank you so much for your time. We'll close the program. Next time we hope to host you in person here in the US when you come. So
Thank
thanks.
you. Thank you. Thank you very much.